The moment a person decides to change, something powerful begins to happen within them. Every major transformation starts with a decision long before it becomes visible in daily life. Many people spend years wishing for better circumstances, better opportunities, and better results, yet they continue living with the same mindset and habits. The difference between those who remain stuck and those who move forward is often a single decision. A decision creates a line between the past and the future. It marks the point where a person stops accepting limitations and starts pursuing growth. History is filled with individuals who changed their lives because they reached a moment when they refused to remain the same. Their circumstances may not have changed immediately, but their commitment did. Once the decision was made, every action, thought, and effort began moving in a new direction. The quality of a person's life is deeply connected to the quality of the decisions they make. Waiting for the perfect moment often becomes an excuse for inaction. Real change begins when someone decides that today is the day they will move forward regardless of fear, uncertainty, or difficulty. Many people underestimate the power of a firm decision because they focus only on visible results. They want immediate evidence that their lives are changing. However, every significant achievement begins in an invisible place. Before a building is constructed, it exists as a plan. Before a harvest appears, a seed must be planted. Before transformation becomes visible, a decision must take root in the heart and mind. The decision itself may seem small, but it carries enormous potential. It changes the way a person thinks, speaks, and behaves. Once someone truly decides to change, they stop looking for reasons why something cannot be done and start looking for ways to make it happen. Obstacles that once appeared overwhelming become challenges to overcome rather than barriers to surrender to. A committed decision shifts attention away from excuses and directs energy toward progress. It creates momentum that gradually influences every area of life. One of the greatest barriers to transformation is indecision. Many people live between what they are and what they want to become. They dream about success, growth, and achievement, but they never fully commit themselves to the process required to reach those goals. As a result, they remain trapped in a cycle of hesitation. Indecision drains confidence because it keeps a person constantly questioning their direction. Every day becomes a struggle because no clear commitment has been made. When a person finally decides who they want to become, uncertainty begins to lose its power. Clarity produces confidence. Confidence produces action. Action produces results. A person who has made a firm decision does not need perfect conditions to begin. They understand that progress is created through movement. The road may not be completely visible, but they move forward because they have chosen a destination. Their commitment becomes stronger than their doubts. A powerful decision often requires letting go of an old identity. Many people are attached to versions of themselves that no longer serve their future. They continue defining themselves by past mistakes, failures, disappointments, or limitations. They allow previous experiences to determine what they believe is possible. True transformation requires rejecting those outdated definitions. A person cannot become someone new while constantly holding on to who they used to be. Growth demands a willingness to release limiting beliefs and embrace new possibilities. The decision to change is also a decision to stop allowing the past to control the future. Every individual possesses abilities and potential that may have remained hidden for years. Those gifts begin to emerge when a person chooses to see themselves differently. Identity influences behavior, and behavior influences results. The moment someone adopts a new vision of themselves, their actions begin aligning with that vision. The process of becoming unrecognizable in a short period begins with an internal commitment that refuses to be shaken by temporary emotions. Feelings are unpredictable. Some days a person feels motivated, energized, and confident. Other days they feel discouraged and uncertain. If transformation depends on emotions, consistency becomes impossible. A genuine decision rises above emotional fluctuations. It remains firm regardless of circumstances. This level of commitment creates resilience. Challenges no longer become reasons to quit because the decision has already been made. Temporary setbacks lose their ability to stop progress. Every successful person encounters obstacles, criticism, delays, and moments of frustration. What separates them from others is their refusal to abandon the decision they made. Their determination becomes stronger than the resistance they encounter. They continue moving because they understand that growth belongs to those who persist. A powerful decision also changes the way a person approaches each day. They stop waking up without direction and begin living with intention. Their time becomes more valuable because they recognize that every day presents an opportunity to move closer to their goals. They become more aware of their choices, habits, and priorities. Activities that once consumed their energy lose their appeal because they no longer align with the person they have chosen to become. Their focus sharpens, their standards rise, their expectations increase. They become less willing to tolerate mediocrity and more committed to excellence. The transformation may begin internally, but its effects gradually become visible in every area of life. People notice greater confidence, stronger discipline, improved focus, and a renewed sense of purpose. What appears to others as a sudden change is actually the result of a decision that created a new direction and a new standard for living. Distractions are one of the greatest enemies of personal growth because they quietly steal time, energy, and focus without immediately revealing the damage they cause. Many people have big dreams and meaningful goals, yet they struggle to make progress because their attention is constantly being pulled in different directions. Every day presents countless opportunities to become distracted by things that offer temporary entertainment but provide no lasting value. Hours disappear without accomplishment, and weeks pass without meaningful advancement. The danger of distractions is that they rarely appear harmful in the moment. They often seem small, harmless, and insignificant. However, when repeated day after day, they gradually consume the time that could have been invested in growth, learning, and achievement. A person who desires transformation must understand that success is not only about what they choose to pursue, it is also about what they choose to eliminate. Every distraction removed creates more space for purpose, productivity, and progress. Many people assume that a lack of opportunity is the reason they are not advancing, when the real issue is often a lack of focus. Focus is one of the most valuable resources a person possesses because it determines where energy is directed. Wherever attention goes, results eventually follow. A distracted mind struggles to achieve significant goals because it is constantly switching between priorities. Instead of making steady progress toward one objective, energy becomes scattered across numerous activities that produce little value. Imagine trying to fill a container with water while allowing it to leak from multiple holes. No matter how much effort is applied, progress remains limited. The same principle applies to personal development. When focus is divided by unnecessary distractions, growth becomes slower and more difficult. Eliminating distractions allows a person to direct their full attention toward what truly matters, creating momentum that leads to meaningful results. Excuses are equally destructive because they create a false sense of comfort while preventing growth. An excuse provides temporary relief from responsibility, but it also prevents improvement. Every excuse shifts attention away from personal action and places blame elsewhere. Some people blame their circumstances. Others blame their background, resources, environment, or past experiences. While challenges and obstacles are real, excuses transform those challenges into permanent limitations. They convince individuals that they are powerless to change their situation. The problem with excuses is that they often sound reasonable. They can appear logical and convincing. However, no excuse has ever produced progress. Growth begins when a person accepts responsibility for what they can control rather than focusing on what they cannot control. Responsibility empowers action, while excuses encourage stagnation. The moment a person stops making excuses, they begin reclaiming control over their future. One of the most significant shifts in personal development occurs when someone becomes honest about the habits that are holding them back. Many distractions and excuses survive because they remain unexamined. People often justify behaviors that waste valuable time because those behaviors have become comfortable. They convince themselves that they will change tomorrow, next week, or sometime in the future. Yet transformation requires confronting reality. It requires identifying the activities, patterns, and attitudes that are preventing progress. This level of honesty can be uncomfortable because it forces a person to acknowledge areas where improvement is needed. However, growth is impossible without awareness. A person cannot eliminate a problem they refuse to recognize. The willingness to examine one's habits honestly creates an opportunity for meaningful change. Once the source of distraction is identified, It becomes possible to replace it with actions that support growth and achievement. Eliminating distractions and excuses requires intentionality, because neither disappears automatically. Every day presents choices about how time will be spent, what information will receive attention, and which activities will be prioritized. Individuals who experience significant growth understand that their future is shaped by these daily decisions. They learn to protect their focus because they recognize its value. They become selective about where they invest their energy. Instead of allowing every demand, interruption, or temptation to control their schedule, they establish clear priorities and remain committed to them. This level of intentional living creates a sense of direction that many people never experience. Rather than reacting to life, they begin leading it. Their actions become aligned with their goals because they have removed many of the obstacles that previously interfered with progress. When distractions are eliminated and excuses are abandoned, a remarkable transformation begins to occur. Mental clarity increases because attention is no longer divided among countless unnecessary activities. Productivity improves because more energy is available for meaningful work. Confidence grows because progress becomes visible. Each completed task reinforces the belief that greater achievements are possible. Momentum develops because consistent effort begins producing consistent results. What once seemed difficult becomes manageable because focus is no longer being wasted. The path toward personal growth becomes clearer because unnecessary obstacles have been removed. Individuals who achieve extraordinary results are often not those with the most talent or resources. They are frequently those who have mastered the ability to focus on what matters while refusing to allow distractions and excuses to control their lives. Through this discipline, they create the environment necessary for continuous growth, improvement, and transformation. A strong daily routine is one of the most powerful tools for personal transformation because it creates structure, consistency, and direction. Many people desire success, growth, and achievement, yet they approach each day without a clear plan. They wake up reacting to circumstances rather than intentionally guiding their actions. As a result, their days become controlled by interruptions, distractions, and shifting priorities. A routine changes this pattern by creating a framework that supports progress. It reduces uncertainty and helps ensure that important activities receive the attention they deserve. Every successful individual understands that lasting results are rarely produced by occasional effort. They are produced by consistent actions repeated over time. A daily routine transforms productive behaviors into habits, allowing growth to become a natural part of everyday life rather than something that happens only when motivation appears. The way a person begins their day often influences everything that follows. The first moments after waking up are important because they establish the mental and emotional tone for the hours ahead. Individuals who start their day with purpose often experience greater focus and productivity throughout the day. Instead of immediately becoming consumed by distractions, they dedicate time to activities that strengthen their mindset and prepare them for success. This may involve reflection, planning, learning, exercise, or other practices that promote growth. The objective is not merely to stay busy, but to begin the day intentionally. When a person takes control of their morning, they are more likely to maintain control of their day. A purposeful beginning creates momentum that carries forward into every responsibility, decision, and challenge they encounter. A strong routine also creates discipline by reducing reliance on emotions. Many people struggle to achieve their goals because they depend on feeling motivated before taking action. Some days they feel energetic and productive, while other days they feel uninspired and distracted. This inconsistency makes progress difficult because actions are determined by temporary emotions rather than long-term commitment. A routine eliminates much of this uncertainty. When positive habits become part of a daily schedule, they are no longer dependent on mood or circumstance. A person exercises because it is part of their routine. They study because it is part of their routine. They work toward their goals because it is part of their routine. The routine becomes a system that supports progress even when motivation is absent. This consistency is one of the primary reasons why routines are so effective in producing long-term results. Another important benefit of a daily routine is that it encourages continuous growth. Personal development does not occur through a single dramatic event. It is the result of small improvements accumulated over time. Reading a few pages each day may seem insignificant, but over months and years it leads to substantial knowledge. Practicing a skill consistently may not produce immediate mastery, but it creates steady improvement. Exercising daily may not transform the body overnight, but it strengthens health and endurance over time. These small actions often appear ordinary in the moment, yet their cumulative effect can be extraordinary. A strong routine ensures that growth-oriented activities occur regularly, allowing progress to compound. What seems like a minor effort today can produce significant results in the future because consistency magnifies the impact of small actions. A productive routine also helps protect valuable time. Time is one of the most precious resources a person possesses because it cannot be recovered once it is spent. Many individuals lose hours each day without realizing how much potential is being wasted. They drift from one activity to another without a clear sense of purpose, allowing distractions to consume their attention. A structured routine creates greater awareness of how time is being used. It encourages intentional decision-making and helps ensure that important priorities receive adequate attention. Rather than constantly wondering what to do next, individuals with strong routines move from one meaningful activity to another with clarity and purpose. This efficiency allows them to accomplish more while experiencing less stress and confusion. Their days become more productive because their actions are aligned with their goals. A well-developed routine ultimately shapes character because repeated actions become habits, and habits become part of a person's identity. Every day provides an opportunity to strengthen qualities such as discipline, responsibility, focus, and perseverance. When positive behaviors are practiced consistently, they begin influencing the way a person thinks and behaves. Over time, these habits create a foundation for success that extends into every area of life. Confidence grows because commitments are being honored. Focus improves because priorities are being protected. Progress becomes visible because effort is being applied consistently. What begins as a simple routine gradually becomes a powerful force for transformation. It turns intentions into actions, actions into habits, and habits into results. Through a strong daily routine, a person develops the structure necessary to achieve meaningful growth and create lasting change in their life. One of the most important truths about success is that lasting results are not achieved by simply wanting a better life. They are achieved by becoming the kind of person capable of creating and sustaining that better life. Many people focus entirely on goals, rewards, and outcomes. They think about the position they want, the income they desire, the recognition they hope to receive, or the opportunities they wish to experience. While goals are important, they are only part of the equation. The greater question is whether the person pursuing those goals is developing the qualities necessary to handle them. Success is not merely about reaching a destination. It is about becoming someone who can thrive when that destination is reached. A person who wants a different future must first become a different version of themselves. The future you desire requires a level of growth, discipline, wisdom, and character that must be developed before greater opportunities can be trusted to you. Many people become frustrated because they want results that their current habits cannot support. They dream about extraordinary achievements while continuing to maintain ordinary patterns of behavior. They desire change without embracing the personal transformation required to produce that change. Every significant accomplishment demands growth. A stronger future requires a stronger individual. Greater responsibility requires greater maturity. Larger opportunities require greater preparation. Life often responds not only to what a person wants, but also to who they are becoming. This is why personal development is so important. Instead of asking only how to achieve a goal, successful individuals ask what kind of person they must become to achieve it. They understand that external success is often a reflection of internal growth. As they improve themselves, their ability to create better outcomes improves as well. The process of becoming the person your future requires begins with self-awareness. A person must honestly evaluate where they are and identify the areas that need improvement. This requires humility because growth cannot occur without acknowledging weaknesses. Every individual has habits, attitudes, and patterns that either support their future or hinder it. Some people need greater discipline. Others need more patience, confidence, focus, or emotional maturity. The willingness to identify these areas creates the opportunity for transformation. Growth is not about pretending to be perfect. It is about recognizing where improvement is needed and committing to that process. The strongest individuals are not those who never struggle. They are those who consistently work to become better than they were yesterday. Self-awareness provides the foundation upon which meaningful development is built. Becoming the person your future requires also means embracing responsibility for your own growth. Too many people wait for circumstances to improve before they decide to improve themselves. They expect opportunities, resources, or external support to create change in their lives. While those factors can be helpful, true transformation begins when a person accepts responsibility for their own development.